And Ryan Crawford won the first one.
Woo!
Yeah!
Look at it!
What was going to get made, mate?
Oh, awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
Shit. That's where for piss. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. It's pretty cold. Okay, the person at the front that you saw that we were giving a round of applause to was Ryan Crawford. Congratulations, Ryan. He won the West Coast IPA, the Amateur Brewers West Coast IPA. So we had our competition on Sunday. Great, wonderful. Yeah, don't know what to say really. This is the first real competition that I've been into with proper BJCP guideline rules and proper scorecards, etc. with decent feedback, real feedback, invaluable feedback. There was a lot of beers, it turned out. There were 37 beers at the end, and there could only be one winner. Some of the beers apparently were crap, not even worth scoring. If they did get a score, then they were good beers. If they got a high score, they were exceptional beers. And if they got a really high score, they won. But I did learn quite a bit. One of the things I learned, actually, it's about 4 things I learned. 4 things that sort of stood out from my first experience of going into a beer competition. Now, I took some notes, just so that I could remember it. So if you see me look down, it's just because I'm doing that. Shaking around because it's cold. The first thing is a style guideline. I brewed my beer to the style guideline, so it was within original and finished gravity, the IBUs, the colour, and everything like that. Now, they're the BJCP style guidelines for the type of beer that we were brewing. Now, it appears that those style guidelines can stretch just a little bit when it comes to judging. Sitting there sampling some of the beers and talking to the other brewers that have put them in, a couple of the beers that got up into the top 5 were well out of style. Instead of being 70 IBUs, they were 100 IBUs. So the measure or the perception of a style, to try and fit it in with a style, isn't that concrete. Okay, it's a bit hard for a judge to pick out the difference between a 70 and 100 IBU, or maybe it is and they just like the higher IBU. I don't know, but that was one thing I noticed, that you don't necessarily have to stick within style. The next thing that sort of stood out was it's fashionable. Okay, this is not a bad thing. This is it's a dictation of what people want to drink. So another thing that stood out was the beers that had the fashionable hops were the beers that got ranked higher. And a classic example of that was, there was a brewer and he brewed exactly the same beer twice. Same recipe, same thing, okay? The only thing he did was he swapped out the hops. Now, the one that he put Citra hops in had 20 more points. Actually, not 20, no, it was, yeah, twice the scores than the one that he didn't put Citra in. So that means that Citra hop, like the mosaic hops and things like that, the thing that's trending at the moment, is a little bit forefront on what judges are tasting. They like that taste, and maybe that taste is going to stick out a little bit more, and it's going to get a higher score. So that's another thing to bear in mind when you're doing a competition, is that if there's a trend, follow the trend, and follow the trend and do it well, because it will help in the end score. The other thing that I noticed, as I try my notes, is appearance. My beer was pretty clear. There were some beers there that were crystal clear. Ryan's beer, the one that won, was cloudy. maybe he didn't get his points for his appearance. But out of a BJCP scorecard, out of a total of 50 points, appearance is only 3 of them. So he didn't get 3 points. Doesn't matter, you can make up for it somewhere else. So if you're slogging your gut trying to make a beer look really good, it's not that bit that counts. The bit where you get all your score is under the flavour. Out of a maximum of 20 points is where you get all your score in there. The next bit is the overall impression, which would help with the appearance and stuff like that. But appearance itself is 3 points out of 50. There's not a lot. Aroma is 12 points out of 50, so that's where those citra hops come into play. But yeah, that is really good. The other great thing that you get out of putting a beer into a competition like this is that you get some superb palates. Okay, we've got judges here, some judges that do sensory training every week to keep their palate fine-tuned, and they can pick out the little tiny nuances in your beer, the things that you can't taste, and then go, ah, that's this and that's that. So I got some great feedback. I had a green apple aroma in my beer, which was due to not fermenting it long enough, not fermenting it out long enough. But it was something that I never picked up when I was drinking the beer or when I was sharing it around with my friends. They just went, oh yeah, we love this, we like it. But when it gets to that higher level of judging, all those little tiny things start to matter, and you've got to get rid of them. So you've got to have a really good palate yourself to try and pick out these things. Or get your beer tasted by a lot of people and get that feedback and get honest feedback about it. Because if you have one of those little things that taints a beer, it'll ruin it. A little tiny taint and they'll go, no, don't like it, and there's your score gone. Sorry, over. Anyway, what else did I learn? My yeast was under stress, which is interesting. I just need to brew. I need to brew a little bit longer. I need to ferment a little bit longer. I'd been racking off just a little bit premature, and I hadn't been letting the yeast cake just sit there for that just a little bit longer. But this is what we do, is we learn good stuff. But anyway, great, overwhelmed. Congratulations, Ryan. Well done. Blown away with the way that the competition was organised. It was just really, really professionally done. Darren, you did a good job. Aidan, you did a great job. All the judges, superb, great, absolutely. We'll be jumping in and doing it again. Next time I'll put 2 or 3 beers in though, because a lot of brewers were putting in 2 or 3 beers, not just focusing on the one horse, the one trick pony, just to try and get that one through, but putting in 3 beers with some variations on it, which is really good because then you get 3 different lots of variation, 3 different lots of feedback on your beer. But yeah, it's cool. Thumbs up for the competition. Can't wait to do the next one. I have this. Let's see if you can see this. Hopefully that's focusing in. Grant Baker kindly dropped this off to me on Tuesday. So brewed in Stokes, Vegas, the Family Secret 2012 Scotch Ale, 7.2% by the Baker Boys. This is one of the last bottles he's got. I'm not sure whether I should be drinking it. Yeah, I'm going to drink it. Or save it. No, I should drink it. Oh, yeah, tight. Yeah, that was on that. Look at the colour of that. Hasn't got a lot of head retention on it, but doesn't matter. The aroma gets lost without the head, but smells clean. yeah, that does taste like a Scotch ale, which is pretty handy because it says that it's a Scotch ale on the bottle. It also says, waste not a drop. I will not be wasting a drop of this, Grant. Thank you very much. I'll be sitting back enjoying this for this very, very cold evening. It will totally warm me up while I'm doing my editing of this video. If you see any jumps or skips or misses, it's because this stuff is too good. Now, as a judge, I can taste. To be really, really critical, if I've got to try and pick something out, I don't know whether I can pick them out, but I think if I look at the different things that you can try and find in a beer, which I've got to do now, every single beer I'm going to drink, I'm going to see if I can pick it out. A little bit estery, yeah. There's no diacetyl or DMS or anything in there that I can taste. It's not astringent in any way. It's not musty. It's not metallic. It's not light struck. Solvent. It'll come under the estery, but it's just because of the high alcohol that's in there. But after the second sip, it goes down quite well. It's not yeasty at all. It's very good. Very good, Grant. I can't find fault in that. It's a very, very nice Scotch ale. It's the way a Scotch ale should be, in my opinion, which is a subjective opinion, of course, because all beer tasting is subjective. Right. SJ Pour experiment is coming up very, very close. Next Tuesday, as a matter of fact. Yes, next Tuesday. So, I've got a little bit of work to do over the weekend. I've got to do a bit more bottling. I've got to pick up some boxes. Monday afternoon, I will be out at the airport meeting Jed, who's flying the beers down from Auckland, from the Auckland Brewers. I've got some beer coming up from Dean, which will be arriving at work either tomorrow or Friday. So that's that one taken care of. Any Wellington Brewers who haven't seen it, we're going to Shigasaki on Tuesday at 7 PM for our swap. I'll be sending out an email to all you guys so that you know, so just as a reminder, so that you come along to it. Yeah, keen as beans to see this experiment, as I'm going to get 15 odd bottles of SJ Pour beer, all with different flavours and designs, all based on the same type of grains, to taste while I haven't got much brewing. Well, I've got my peculiar one brewing. It's in secondary at the moment. Here it is. Okay, it is transfer time into the secondary for... Where are you? There you are. Obviously in a pre-sanitised fermenter. It is transfer into the secondary for peculiar one. 10, 2, 4, 6, about 10, 18 coming out of what? Coming out of primary after 8 days. There it is. Let's give this a primary taste. Anyway, cheers. Have yourself another one. Oh, get inside this fucking fire. Too bloody cold in here.